Donald Trump is trying to suck oxygen out of his Republican rivals in the back, turning the final move to party meetings in Iowa into a showcase for allegations of political persecution. Trump's anticipated juggling this week between courtroom and campaign events will remain a metaphor for the entire election, overshadowed by the former president's legal turmoil. His strategy to base his campaign on lie he won 2020 election, which is at center of 2 out of 4 impending criminal cases, and his clear calls for revenge. He helped make her strongest candidate in presidential race nomination over years. This is also the case. At the same time, meeting this week in a CNN debate, his main rivals, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, have also complicated efforts to disqualify him as a strong candidate. Although Trump's rhetoric plagues many Americans, his refusal to accept man-made and recognize limitations rule of law is an important part of his brand among Republican voters from disgruntled base. Iowa's councils on January 15 will set Trump on his way to third consecutive nomination, facing 91 charges in 4 separate cases. Inevitable confrontation between former president's legal status and 2024 election. Meanwhile, Trump's growing autocratic mentality, which also appears at weekend events, seemed to justify President Joe Biden's warning that he could destroy U.S. democracy if his predecessor won in November last week. It was the main theme of the president's campaign. The next few weeks show how likely the country's future is remain connected. Trump, who has made it clear how he will become an even more untamed force in the second term and will attempt to end federal lawsuits against him. Only this week, he is expected come to Washington, D.C., for a major appeals court hearing on the federal election response case. And at the same time, a civil case is expected to arrive in New York for closing discussions. No other presidential candidate has spent the days leading up to the critical first nomination contest in courtrooms as defendants in 2 separate cases. But no other hope of White House could have hoped to launch a viable campaign under the same legal cloud as Trump, which makes evading responsibility work of his life. The former president's promise to use new administration as a means personal revenge will be revealed when his lawyers defend Tuesday at a federal appeals court in Washington that all of his actions after the 2020 election are under constitutional cover presidential immunity. He said he could not be judged for trying to disrupt the election, while gambling in federal election response case is a legally remote possibility, as it means that future presidents can get edge off crimes committed to stay in power. Lawsuit sets out Trump's vision of presidency. It outlines clearly anti-American ways by granting almost monarchical powers. Many sources told CNN that Trump plans to attend H.